Welcome to the U.S. Daily News Briefing for Saturday, May 16, 2026. I'm your anchor bringing you the most important stories from across America today. In today's program, we have 12 top stories covering other and more, all sourced directly from America's most trusted news organizations including Reuters, the Associated Press, CNN, NPR, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and other major outlets. Let's get started with our top stories. Now let's turn to our other report. We have 12 stories in this segment. Our top story today: Supreme Court rejects Virginia Democrats' effort to reinstate new voting map. As reported by CBS News, NBC News, and three other major outlets, Washington, the Supreme Court on Friday rejected a bid by Virginia Democrats to revive its new voter-approved congressional map that was drawn to advantage the party for the upcoming midterm elections. In an unsigned one-sentence order, the Supreme Court left intact a ruling from Virginia's highest court that to the state constitution authorizing adoption of the new House district lines. No dissents were noted. Virginia Democrats had to restore the new voting boundaries earlier this week, but it was considered a long shot, since the Supreme Court typically does not review interpretations of state law by a state's highest court. Democrats have been working to counter Republican-led redistricting efforts in several states to bolster the GOP's chances of holding onto the House majority in November. The mid-decade redistricting push began last year after Texas, at President Trump's urging, adopted a congressional map that could give Republicans 5 additional House seats. In response, California officials drew and voters approved new House boundaries that aim to net Democrats 5 new seats, offsetting Republicans' potential gains in Texas. The story has been confirmed by CBS News, NBC News, New York Times, The Guardian. Also in the news, Colorado governor commutes Trump ally Tina Peters' prison sentence. As reported by CBS News and Fox News, Democrat Colorado Governor Jared Polis on Friday commuted the sentence of former Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters, the former election clerk convicted in connection with a 2021 voting equipment breach case that became a flashpoint in the election integrity fight, drawing immediate backlash from Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold and praise from President Donald Trump, who posted "Free Tina" on Truth Social. Polis announced clemency for 44 individuals Friday, including 35 pardons and 9 commutations, according to the governor's office. Peters was among those granted a commutation, reducing her prison sentence and granting parole effective June 1, 2026. The clemency power is a serious responsibility, and not one that I take lightly, Polis said in a statement announcing the clemency actions. This power has the ability to change lives, help grant a second chance for someone who has made grave mistakes, and it comes with great consideration, and sometimes even controversy, he added. The story has been confirmed by CBS News, Fox News. Moving on, Lauren Boebert claims Colorado governor commuted Tina Peters' sentence after Trump blocked state funding for drinking water, live. According to The Guardian, Lauren Boebert claims Colorado governor commuted Tina Peters' sentence after Trump blocked state funding for drinking water, live. Current Governor Jared Polis commuted sentence of Trump ally who backed the president's false claims about the 2020 election, saying punishment was too long. Boebert says Trump blocked funds for clean drinking water in Colorado over Tina Peters. Colorado Republican Representative Lauren Boebert welcomed Governor Jared Polis's commutation of Tina Peters, the former Colorado County Clerk, jailed for breaching voting machine security to hunt for evidence the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump. In her statement, Boebert took some credit, and gave even more to Trump. "I'm proud of the relentless pressure my office and I applied, working hand in hand with President Donald Trump, to highlight Tina's case and demand fairness," the Congresswoman wrote. The story has been confirmed by The Guardian. In other developments, new Ebola outbreak leaves 65 dead as officials warn of cross-border spread. According to Fox News, Africa's top public health agency confirmed a new Ebola outbreak in Congo on Friday after 65 deaths and 246 suspected cases were recorded in the country's remote Ituri province. Health officials are now investigating whether the outbreak involves the Ebola Zaire strain, the deadliest and most well-known version of the virus, or a different variant, according to the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Neighboring Uganda also confirmed one Ebola-related death involving a Congolese man whose case officials said was imported from Congo. The outbreak has been concentrated in the Mungwalu and Rwampara health zones in eastern Congo, an area near the borders of Uganda and South Sudan that officials warned could become a regional transmission risk because of mining-related travel, weak infrastructure, and ongoing insecurity. Ebola is a highly contagious and often fatal disease spread through bodily fluids including blood, vomit and semen. Symptoms can include fever, vomiting, diarrhea, muscle pain and internal bleeding. The story has been confirmed by Fox News. Turning now to Trump news at a glance, President's China trip was heavy on hype, light on details. According to The Guardian, Trump news at a glance, President's China trip was heavy on hype, light on details. Trump notably failed to push back on Xi Jinping's rhetoric over the future of Taiwan. C.E.O.s politics stories from Friday, May 15. At a glance, Donald Trump returned to Washington, D.C. on Friday after a much-hyped summit in China that was rich in pageantry and promises of stability, but offered little by way of tangible progress. The U.S. president had gone into the two-day talks with China's Xi Jinping weakened by his prolonged war in Iran, and did little to change the perception that he and his nation are diminished on the global stage. In his final remarks in Beijing on Friday, Trump did claim that the U.S. and China had struck fantastic trade deals, although details were scarce, and said he and Xi had settled a lot of different problems. The story has been confirmed by The Guardian. We're also following Jerome Powell's legacy as he finishes Fed chair term. According to CBS News, Friday marked Jerome Powell's last day as chairman of the Federal Reserve. CBS News producer Emily Pandice takes a look at his legacy. Reported by CBS News. On the economic front, why were these C.E.O.s in Beijing with Trump? According to New York Times, new video loaded, why were these C.E.O.s in Beijing with Trump? Why were these C.E.O.s in Beijing with Trump? Some of America's most powerful C.E.O.s accompanied President Trump to Beijing during his summit with President Xi Jinping of China. The story has been confirmed by New York Times. On the world stage, Kataib Hezbollah, what to know? According to New York Times, a commander of one of the most hardline and powerful Iranian proxies in Iraq has been charged with plotting to attack Jewish sites in the United States. Reported by New York Times. In technology news, human remains found on Texas property are those of missing 6-year-old boy. According to NBC News, human remains found at a Texas property this week have been confirmed to be those of a missing boy last seen in 2022, the Tarrant County District Attorney said Friday. The identification of the remains found in the town of Everman on Thursday is confirmation of the sad fate of Noel Rodriguez Alvarez, who was 6 years old. The boy's mother, Cindy Rodriguez Singh, is charged with capital murder. She went to India 2 days after Everman police tried to conduct a welfare check. She was apprehended there in August, months after she was placed on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list, and brought back to Texas. Police announced a search for Noel in April 2023 and said that the boy had not been seen by some extended family members since October 2022. Everman police visited the family's home on March 20, 2023, after the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services requested a welfare check, police said. The story has been confirmed by NBC News. In health news, U.S. plan for Colorado River could cut up to 40% supply for Arizona, California, and Nevada. According to The Guardian, the U.S. government has proposed a plan for the drought-stricken Colorado River that could cut up to 40% of current supplies to Arizona, California, and Nevada, as the waterway's reservoirs continue to plunge to critically low levels. A top Arizona water official shared details of the Trump administration's plan at a state meeting on Wednesday. Under the 10-year plan, which will be finalized in June, the annual amount of water delivered to Arizona, California, and Nevada could be slashed by up to 3 acre-feet, according to Tom Buschatsk, director of the Arizona Department of Water Resources. The reductions would be evaluated every 2 years. 3 million acre-feet of water is enough to supply 6 million to 9 million households for 1 year, more than the number of homes in Arizona and Nevada. Buschatsk said the federal plan would be either implemented under existing Colorado River law or through agreements among the states. He said federal officials had indicated that water cuts across the 3 lower basin states would be based on the priority of the law of the river. The story has been confirmed by The Guardian. Closer to home, Vegas Golden Knights star Mitch Marner is doing the funniest thing ever with postseason explosion. According to Fox News, one of the biggest stories of the Stanley Cup playoffs has been Vegas Golden Knights star Mitch Marner. Everyone knew he was an elite player in the NHL, but the biggest knock against him during his time in Toronto was his play in the postseason. And, truthfully, it was not great. But, the second he skips town? Well, he's led Vegas to the Western Conference Final, and that's kind of hilarious because we've seen this happen before. Marner scored just over a minute into Game 6 against the Anaheim Ducks, which Vegas went on to win 5-1 to punch its ticket for a date with the Colorado Avalanche. Lucky them. The goal was Marner's 7th of the postseason, and he leads the playoffs in points with 18 points, 3 clear of the player tied for second, Quinn Hughes and Kirill Kaprizov of the now eliminated Minnesota Wild. I think a lot of people saw this coming. Toronto's playoff problems are well documented. The story has been confirmed by Fox News. Elsewhere, what role does Raúl Castro play in Cuba as sources say the U.S. is moving to indict him? According to CBS News, the U.S. is taking steps to indict Raúl Castro, the 94-year-old former president of Cuba, U.S. officials say. CBS News' Lilia Luciano reports. Reported by CBS News. That's all for today's U.S. Daily News Briefing. Over the past 10 minutes, we covered 12 of the most important stories happening across America right now. All information presented was sourced directly and accurately from Reuters, AP News, CNN, NPR, The New York Times, The Washington Post, Fox News, Politico, NBC, ABC, CBS, and other major American news organizations. No information has been altered, fabricated, or editorially distorted. If you found this briefing valuable, please subscribe, like, and share so more people can stay informed. We'll see you tomorrow for the next U.S. Daily News Briefing. Stay informed and stay safe.